This is the AB4WS radio show. Every week, bringing you the exciting amateur radio news and information happening in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana areas.
The AB4WS radio show can be found on the Apple Podcast app or your favorite podcast application. And now also available on the AB4WS radio show YouTube channel. Well, that net known as the Little Event held every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time to 8:30 p.m. on the WW4KY 224.400 repeater with connections to All-Star node number 61054 and Echolink WW4KY-R passed a significant milestone last week with 40 check-ins. Feeding off the net slogan, we are here for a good time, not a long time, a lot of hams are really enjoying the net. Some have said that this was the most enjoyable net they've ever experienced. The net started about 6 months ago when operators primarily in northern Kentucky were unable to check into the big event held every Wednesday evening on 224.62 repeater at 8:30 p.m. Many had checked in but were now unable to get into the repeater for some reason. Jeff, KF8PO, the current big event net coordinator, cooperated in checking in and taking the check-ins from the little event over to the big event. To say the net has been growing in popularity is an understatement. With each week, the number of participants grows significantly, to such an extent that the net control is taking check-ins early as 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Last week, even one check-in was on a cruise ship in Australia coming over Echolink, that being the repeater owner, David, 84cc, who is thrilled with the activity on the 224.400 repeater. So mark the little event on your calendar, follow along on NetLogger, and check in every Wednesday night at 7:45 Eastern Time and the 224.400 WW4KY repeater or All-Star node connected 61054 or Echolink WW4KY-R and see what all the fun is about. Have you ever been frustrated with trying to find the right vanity call sign to apply for? Well, 9-year-old extra class operator Adam McGrubb was frustrated by the process and decided to help out and give back to other ham operators, so he created a website to help others find that cool call sign and apply for it. The website is kf8ekw.com. Go there and remember, this young man is only 9 years old. He is also trying to collect money to save up to get his dream rig, a Yaesu FTDX 101D and power supply. Help him out if you can. Great job, Adam. April 18th is the 11th Annual World Radio Day, celebrating the 101st anniversary of the formation of the IARU in Paris, France. The special event for this anniversary has brought together more than 6,000 contacts over the years. The special event station will have a limited edition QSL card for the event. They will be available for contact on a number of various frequencies and modes for the event starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on April 18th. See what frequencies and modes they're operating on. Go to roc-ham.net. As the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club prepares for their new and improved field day experience better than ever before, they have reached out to Ham Radio Prep and arranged to share the following savings code of 10% on all their product. The Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club is hoping this will help out people who may be interested in amateur radio and yet to obtain their license, find a method for them to study and get their license, and Ham Radio Prep will give them a 10% discount on the price of their material. Also, those already licensed might take advantage of the discount for World Radio Lead Logging product. The Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club is sharing this discount code with everyone who might be interested. Just use the coupon code of NKARC when checking out and have fun. Thanks, NKARC. Most hams have been wondering where they'll get a quality antenna, with MFJ stopping production of their high-gain and Cushcraft antenna, rotor and communications products, or Step IR, which announced last year the end of their commercial products. Well, good news has come. First, Martin Jew, president of MFJ, announced the sale of the high-gain and Cushcraft antenna, rotor, and communication product lines to the ITU Corporation, a 25-year-old engineering company in Indiana. ITU ITU announced that it has purchased the former Linton, Indiana National Guard Armory at 2000 East Highway 54 in Linton, Indiana, adding to its current manufacturing and corporate facilities in Duggar, Indiana. This 15-acre facility offers move-in ready facility that meets the needs of the operation, according to ITU corporate president Dave Carpenter. In a separate announcement, Step IR announced that they believe they will be able to return to the consumer market, offering some exciting new product. They will offer all parts and accessories that are on their website for purchase and continue to make them available in the future. They'll also be bringing back select antennas, including popular Yagi antennas and the small IR and big IR vertical antennas. This is good news for hams with the return of these amateur radio antenna manufacturers to the game. With the usual spring weather, it is important for all amateurs to be weather aware, and a nice addition to help you keep up on the weather happenings when things get dicey is the Kentucky Severe Storm Weather Net. It's held on XLX 721A Multi-Mode Communications Network. This net is now held every Monday night from 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and this gives you a chance to check in and make sure your equipment is working so that when the storm hits, you are ready. There are multiple ways for you to connect to this multi-mode communications network. If you have one of the M1KE devices, just connect it to XLX 721 Alpha. Let's say you got DMR. Connect your DMR hotspot or connect to a repeater to Brandmeister Talk Group 3121232. A C4FM rig connects via your hotspot to YSF Reflector 51149. There are two ways to connect to the network by D-Star. Either connect to DCS 721 Alpha or connect to REF 56 Alpha. For Echolink, connect to KY4RW-L, and it's rumored that there may be an all-star connection coming soon. This allows everyone to communicate with each other regardless of the mode you're using, and that you can hear everyone regardless of the mode that they are on. This is a really neat system that's up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, except for Echolink, which is only active for the net, so check it out anytime. Thanks to Ray, KY4RW, and Larry, NN4H, for this neat communication system. Nominations are open for this year's 2026 Kentucky Amateur of the Year Award. The deadline for your candidate's entry is Friday, August 14, 2026. When submitting the ham you wish to nominate, keep in mind the following. A radio amateur is considerate, loyal, progressive, friendly, balanced, and patriotic. For more information and where to send your candidate application, see the Kentucky Amateur of the Year page on the LouisvilleHamFest.com website. The ARRL America 250 Worked All States operating event continues with each state having 2 weeks of using the W1AW call sign with their call sign district. This week, from April 15th through April 21st, is Delaware W1AW/3 and Idaho W1AW/7. April 22nd through April 28th is Iowa W1AW/0 and Wisconsin W1AW/9. For more information on this event, go to ARRL.org/America250-WAS. The Voice of America Museum of Broadcasting, in conjunction with the Westchester Amateur Radio Club, has announced expanded museum hours for the Dayton Hamvention 2026. They'll be open Thursday, May 14th, Friday, May 15th, and Saturday, May 16th from noon to 9 p.m., and on Sunday, May 17th from noon to 5 p.m. If you're interested in radio, history, or broadcasting, I highly recommend you visiting the museum. It's just a short drive south of the Hamvention and is a great piece of radio history and the home of the Westchester Amateur Radio Club station. Check it out. For more information, go to voamuseum.org. The Flying Pig is May 1st through the 3rd, and Steve, NATFD, is looking for amateur radio volunteers to assist with the race administration and communication. If you can help out, reach out to Steve, NATFD@fuse.net. April 20th at 7 p.m. is the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club meeting at the Bethesda Community Church, 989 East Mount Zion Road in Independence, Kentucky. Everyone is invited, especially if you're interested in learning about everything you ever wanted to know about Field Day but were afraid to ask. This presentation by Mark, AI4BJ, will provide you with all the information you ever wanted to know about working Field Day and what the NKARC is going to try to do this year to make Field Day 2026 the best ever. So come on out and learn what this Field Day event is all about. On Thursday, April 23rd at 6 p.m., there'll be a National Weather Service Weather Spotter training class at the Grove of Springfield Township, 9150 Winton Road in Cincinnati, Ohio, behind the fire station. Registration opens up at 5:30 p.m. Ohio NVIS Day is April 25th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. This uses special antenna configurations to exercise near vertical incidence skywave propagation, a way to communicate further than VHF or UHF, but remain regional instead of global, a method for emergency and other communications to, say, Indianapolis or Columbus, using HF frequencies while avoiding international traffic. Many local ham radio club will have special activities for this event. For more information on the event, go to awrl-ohio.org/NVIS. The Queen City Emergency Net will operate in the Ohio NVIS event on April 25th from about 9:30 a.m. until mid-afternoon. They invite anyone interested in NVIS communications to come on out to the W8VND tower site in Finneytown, Ohio. They plan to have several NVIS antennas set up with rigs to operate, and they encourage you to bring your own rig or NVIS antenna out to the event if you would like to test it. For more information, contact M. Rhodes, N8MCR, at 513-238-8638. Well, you've heard about the 2026 Field Day activities, June 27th and 28th, from the Okayan Amateur Radio Society and the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club. Well, the Stubblefield Repeater Club, KF4UTJ, in Shelbyville, Kentucky, is also planning their Field Day this year as well. They'll be at the Red Orchard Park Barn, 704 Kentucky Street in Shelbyville, Kentucky.
Repeater news.
Are you looking for the most up-to-date list of repeaters in the greater Cincinnati area? Well, I have an Excel spreadsheet where I've listed repeaters that are active in the area, separated by tabs for each band or mode, so you can easily look for just DMR repeaters or 2-meter analog repeaters and so on. The list includes 2 meters, 220, 440, 6 meters, D-Star, DMR, C4FM, P25, and some other classifications. Every time I update the file, I include the date and the file name so that you know you have the latest update. To download the file, go to the AB4WS Radio Show Facebook page and go to the file section and download the file. If you're not on Facebook, email me at ab4ws.radio@gmail.com and I can email you the latest file. If you see any errors, problems, additions, or corrections, email that information to ab4ws.radio@gmail.com. I recently heard several QSOs involving at least 3 different hams using P25 on 145.370, the K8YOJ repeater in Cincinnati. I'm hearing it well in Big Bone, Kentucky, and put out my call on P25 after one QSO, but was not answered, not sure if I'm making it in or not. But you might try your P25 radio on the system. A pro tip for those with an analog radios only listening to this repeater and don't want to hear the digital noise, program your radio with a PL tone of 123.0 for the receive to block out that digital noise.
Hamfest.
April 25th is the Tusco Amateur Radio Club 2026 Hamfest Computer and Electronics Show at the Tuscarawas County Fairgrounds, 259 South Tuscarawas Avenue in Dover, Ohio. For more information, go to w8zx.net/Hamfest. April 26th is the Athens, Ohio Hamfest at the Athens Community Center, 701 East State Street in Athens, Ohio. For more information, go to ac-ara.org. May 2nd is the Lucas County Amateur Radio Emergency Service Hamfest from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Merchants Landing Bingo Hall, 6182 Summit Street in Toledo, Ohio. The granddaddy of all Hamfests, the Dayton Hamvention, will be held May 15th, 16th, and 17th at the Greene County Fair and Expo Center, 210 Fairground Road in Xenia, Ohio. For more information, go to hamvention.org. August 1st from 8 a.m. to noon is the Letcher County Amateur Radio Club Hamfest at the Mountain Shrine Club, 95 Maryland Drive in Whitesburg, Kentucky. They got lots of door prizes. The 2026 Cincinnati Hamfest and ARRL Great Lakes Division Convention will be held on Saturday, August 15th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Claremont County Fairgrounds, 1000 Locust Street in Owensville, Ohio. Greater Louisville Hamfest will be on September 12th from 7:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Parquet Springs Conference Center, 395 Parquet Springs Drive in Shepherdsville, Kentucky, just off I-65 at exit 117. A number of interesting forums have already been scheduled and some really neat door prizes. For more information, go to LouisvilleHamfest.com.
Are you looking to upgrade your license? Do you have someone else that's interested in the hobby? Here are some upcoming exam opportunities.
The Milford Amateur Radio Club holds amateur radio testing on the third Thursday of each month at 6 p.m. at the Miami Township Civic Center, 6101 Meyer Drive in Milford, Ohio. Please pre-register at milfordhamradio.org. The Dayton Amateur Radio Association has exams frequently. For their exam schedule, email exams.wapi@gmail.com. On April 18th at 9 a.m., the KB4KY Radio Club is offering amateur radio license testing at the Bardstown, Kentucky Bingo Hall. You must pre-register by emailing Paul, NC9W, at paul.kiener@gmail.com. On April 20th at 5:30 p.m., the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club will hold an amateur radio exam session at the Bethesda Community Church, 989 East Mount Zion Road in Independence, Kentucky. You must register by going to hamstudy.org/sessions/NKY-VE. On April 25th at 8 a.m., the Tusco Amateur Radio Club will host an amateur radio exam session at the Tuscarawas County Fairgrounds, 259 South Tuscarawas Avenue in Dover, Ohio. For more information, email tusco.ve.team@gmail.com. Special thanks to this week's content contributors: KE8BBC, KY4ROD, AC4HI, KD9EYU, WB8VNH, KY4GW, WB8YYS, KD8ZLD, K9HIO, N8LAR, K4NKU.
If you have something you think other amateur radio operators in the area would be interested in, send the information or your recorded audio file attached in an email to ab4ws.radio@gmail.com.
Covering your amateur radio news and information in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana tri-state area. This is Jack Prindle, AB4WS in Big Bone, Kentucky.